Hi, I'm Mason Kruger. This is the second part to the Multicultural Lit final. And, sorry to read this. The first question of the second part is how have you grown as a learner throughout the course of the semester? I think I've grown greatly as a learner. Not just from what we did as a class in the modules and in the discussion questions, but just as a person. I had 2 in-person classes and 2 online classes my second semester, and having to balance my life and be able to do all 4 of my classes, keep the work to a load that I can do and not be stressed out was huge for me, especially. I play hockey, and I played every morning from 7:30 to probably 12. Went straight to school. In school, did my 2 in-school classes, went home and had to do my online school classes. And having to balance out family, hockey, and school was huge for the semester, having 2 online classes and 2 in-person classes. It was a big load, but I think I learned a lot about myself and what kind of learner I am through everything I went through this semester. The second question is, what is the most important idea and argument that was generated this semester's discussions? One of the arguments that I really liked was one of the discussion questions, and it was how biased are you? And it gave us it was a test that we had to do, and I had to go back and look at what we did. It was a test we had to do, and it was about racial inequality and gender inequality. And you think to yourself, when you hear the question, how biased are you? You say, I'm not a biased. Well, you'd figure you're not a biased person. You don't think you're biased, or you're not. You don't think you're a biased person. But through the test, you realize that you are a lot more biased than you really think. Even in the back of your head, you have these biased thoughts of genders and races. No matter what, you try to say that you aren't, but I mean, it just. You are who you are. And if I go to my answer here, I mean, I said it was very surprising because I didn't think I was biased, but you almost think that it's not right. You think the test is not right. You say to yourself, I'm not biased. I don't have any biased thoughts, and I just think that reading through all of the responses to this and seeing how what the different preferences that you don't think you have that you actually have was really cool to see, honestly, and very surprising, very surprising. Third question to this is, what are the values of belief that inform this idea? And I think one of the main values is you have to be an open-minded person. You have to be open-minded to new cultures, new people, and I think that was one of the main things that I learned from that discussion or that argument in the chat, like the chat board. The fourth question is, how do you think that the issue is viewed by those who disagree? Those who disagree that say they aren't biased are kidding themselves. I mean, you can't not be biased at all. And I think that was one of the main things that shocked me and made me really think about the person I am and what other people are and their ideals, and how no matter what, you still have a little bit of bias in you, I guess, no matter what. And the last question is, how will you use what you learned in this course outside the 4 walls of our classroom? As I said, obviously the course taught me a lot about literature and different themes and whatever the typical lit stuff, but I think the main thing that I learned from this was just time management. Having the 2 in-person classes, pre-calculus and physics, which are 2 very rigorous classes, having 2 online classes was very difficult and very eye-opening for me. As far as just time management goes, because obviously you have your family life, your school life, your personal life, and you have to, and for me, my hockey life, because my life is hockey, and you have to find a way to manage those 4 things for me in ways that you can hit all four of them, but still have time to yourself, still not be antisocial or not be an outcast, I guess you could say, to your family, because you still have to talk to your family. And I think that was one of the main things that I learned from this course, was just time management. Especially, this was the first course I did on Blackboard, and I will say it was a lot more difficult as far as the assignments go, as far as you have to really dig in, which I liked, but it was a lot more difficult than the regular Ingenuity courses that I'm used to with my school's online courses. Yeah, so those are my answers. I thought it was a great class, and I want to thank you, Ms. Silveri.